the love and light of Unity of Lawrence. And in unity, we begin everything with prayer. So let's take a centering breath and open to the divine in all of us as we listen to this prayer. On this day, we dedicate our hearts to peace on earth. We appreciate each individual spiritual journey and the abundant blessings bestowed upon us. In unity with all who seek to express freedom, joy, and transformation, we welcome our divine inheritance as creators. We come from love, as love, to be love. In harmony with this truth, we live to the best of our ability with a peaceful mind, a peaceful heart, and a peaceful spirit. And so it is. Amen. Our prayer chaplains are trained to hold sacred space with us and pray with you one-on-one. If there's anything in your heart to be held in prayer, we invite you to see our prayer chaplain following today's service at the front of the sanctuary. And now we also love to sing, so let's rise and join Holly in singing More of Who We Are. This is a new one for us. So if you get the repeat on More of Who We Are, we'll begin with I will meet you with my heart to heart. Let us meet again, and then where we become more of who we are, more of who we are. I will touch you with my soul, soul to soul. Let us touch again, and then where we belong, more of who we are, more of who we are, more of who we are. And now we get to turn and greet each other. Say hello. I will meet you with my heart, heart to heart. Let us meet again, and then may we become more of who we are, more of who we are, more of who we are. I will meet you with my heart, heart to heart. Let us meet again, I will meet you silently, breath to breath. Let us breathe as one, and then may we become more of who we are, more of who we are, more of who we are. Thank you, Holly. And thank you for being exactly who you are and here with us. So let us affirm together Unity's founding principle. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the source of all good. And our vision statement, united in divine love and joy, we celebrate a peaceful and abundant world for all. And our mission, we are a thriving spiritual community, sharing love, building bridges, and inspiring transformation. And so it is. Oh, and what transformative voices we're about to be blessed to hear. Please welcome Star Sister Revival. From one triggered heart to another, from the morning coffee scroll to a late night beer, we're just rolling to the grooves of a hidden destination. Till we stop to take a look, the path's unclear. Like each spoke on the wheel, we each take our turn, going round on the ground in desperation. 'Cause it all comes down to our own expectation, and our lives are aligned to our hopes or our fears. You got your feet on the pathway now, no need or deed or vow. It's gonna show you how to love. You're gonna find your way through each step of every day. You can live the life that you dreamed of. From one sacred heart to another, from an easy morning stroll to a late night clear, we're just flowing to the tune of the present conversation, and our lives reflect the thoughts we hold most dear. With each hope and ideal, we can make the turn, going round the town to tunes on our favorite station. 'Cause it all comes down to our own expectations, and our lives aligned to our hopes or our fears. You got your feet on the pathway now, no need or deed or vow. It's gonna show you how to love. You're gonna find your way through each step of every day. You can live the life that you dreamed of. Just look up at those stars, be taken with the moon. Know that you'll go far when you sing your sacred tunes. Just listen to your heart, to yourself be true. You got your feet on the pathway now, no need or deed or vow. It's gonna show you how to love. You're gonna find your way through each step of every day. You can live the life that you dreamed of. That's one of the many things I love about Unity of Lawrence. Every song, every message, perfect exactly for this now moment. And now we get to hear a wonderful message from our beloved Robin. Robin Goff is the founder of the Light Center near Baldwin City and serves as co-spiritual leader and fairy godmother emeritus. Bibbidi bobbidi boo, we love you. She has a background in nursing and hospice chaplaincy, and now her work falls somewhere between the two, focusing on healing with spiritual energy. Welcome, Robin.
So I have to admit, I had a had a kind of a strange dream a couple nights ago that I was standing up here giving this talk, and you were all talking among yourselves, not paying any attention to what I had to say. So feel free to talk among yourselves. It's just one of those things. But then I took it in a little bit and thought, okay, what's this all about? And I realized that I often have little feelings, little voices that say, ooh, I don't know if it's safe to talk about this weird stuff. You're always talking about weird stuff. So it's okay, you know, if you have moments like that today, it may happen, you know. It's okay. So, you know, I've talked about this rock before here. Some of you will remember it. It came to me in South Africa, and I had for years and years, I traveled there for about 18 years, and every time I was there, I'd feel this immense connection, and as if something was calling me there. What is this? What's calling me here? What's calling me here? And I'd sit and look at this beautiful mountain range, and and spoke with the doctor who worked in town, and he studied this area and these hills, and said that that was where the San Bushmen trained their shamans. So I thought, okay, that makes sense. And here I am teaching healing touch classes in this little remote town in the middle of nowhere, but this is a powerful place and powerful energies here. And so my friend, down the line, I went through a lot of different experiences that gave me confirmation that yes, in fact, I was being called there, and a man named David Creeper, because they called them creepers because they were such good trackers and they'd creep around in the bush, was putting out this vibe to anybody who would hear it, and so others hear it too, not just me. But my friend gifted me with this rock a few years back and said that it was believed to be an implement that was very ancient and used by the original peoples there. And when you feel it, you can see it has lots of places for your fingers to go and edges that seem like, yeah, they were undoubtedly used for digging or scraping or something. And so when I first brought this rock home, I would sit with it and meditate, and I asked it one day, so David, and energies that are connecting here, how can I learn to become more connected with you and more telepathic in my range? And then I sat in meditation, and what I heard was remember, just remember. And that really rung true for me and resonated. And so down the line a little bit, then I had a meditation with my teacher, Helen. And I've been studying and being in deep meditation with Helen for over 35 years now, and still am. And she's a very, very gifted person beyond the ordinary realm. And so one day I took this rock into meditation, and I'm in meditation with her on Zoom. She's in Asheville. Excuse me. And I didn't say this to her, but I brought this stone into my meditation that day, and I said, let's see if we can connect telepathically with Helen. And so we went through this meditation, and At one point in the meditation, she had us connecting with the indigenous ones, seeking their wisdom. And we came out, and then everyone in the group would say what they had picked up in the meditation. And Helen said, well, when I connected in with the indigenous ones, I got one word, and it was remembering. And for me, that was a tremendous confirmation that, yeah, there is something going on here. There is some connecting happening, and it keeps verifying that to me. And I did that again a few weeks ago and brought the stone into the meditation with me again and again, without telling anyone I was doing that. And again, remember was the theme that kept emerging in this meditation. So I just bring that in today because it feels like a very important piece for us at this point in time on the planet, is to really more deeply remember who we are. Remember all that we have been able to do and assimilate as human people walking around on this planet. And many indigenous people still have abilities way beyond what we consider to be the ordinary reality. So no sooner than I put this down to Kathy that I was going to speak about remembering who we are, a friend of mine handed me a book called Pull Yourself Together by Rebecca Whitecotton. And the subtitle of it is Alternate Realities, Spiritual Healing, and Dimensional Wholeness. And so I thought, whoa, man. So I picked it up and started reading it, and it was all about remembering who we are and about broadening our consciousness to take in all of these different realities and dimensions that are around us. So I thought, okay, well, here we go, off on another wild ride of exploration. That's Rebecca Whitecotton, if you want to check that one out. So she talks all about having parallel experiences, and when we come to a point on our path and have some kind of a traumatic or huge experience, parts of us can split off and be on another dimension, being a part of me that I maybe don't even know about or can't see. So like we have alternate realities going on all the time, alternate expressions of ourselves. Some of you might remember Gary Zukav talking about that years ago on Oprah. He talked about how your soul is like this big ship going along through the water, surrounded by all these little tugboats, and they're all pieces of our soul, pieces of our expression of who we are. Hard to wrap your head around, eh? You know, just like, okay, I'm trying to take this in. I'm trying to accept this as reality. But it's difficult that to know that we have chosen to be here now, despite the challenges that come with living on the earth. You know, I really believe that there are countless souls out there just waiting for a chance to jump in and wanting to be here, even though we're on a wild ride right now. Lots going on for everybody. Talk among yourselves, it's okay. So it's all for me about our guidance. So our guidance can come in countless ways, from the angelic realms, from our ancestors who have crossed over to the other side, star beings, ascended masters, nature spirits, on and on and on and on. And all of these, we've been taught, are not real. You know, in the dominant mainstream, if you say you had an ET experience, then you're treated as a wacko, for the most part, et cetera, et cetera. So it's about getting more comfortable in our ability to connect with all of this other reality that's all around us all the time, because that's where the help is. that's where the assistance is to live in the human bodies at this point in time on the planet. So when I was in South Africa, I learned a bit about the concept of connecting with your ancestors. And what I discovered was that most people, by far the majority of the people in South Africa and all of the continent of Africa for that matter, have been taught by missionaries that their original belief system was not okay. And one of those pieces was they were told to not connect with their ancestors because that was the power. That was where amazing abilities came through African people. And I am quite sure that Puritan ministers who came there were afraid of that much power. And so they damped it down. And yet it's still there. It's right beneath the surface. For those who are willing to take that leap, take that risk of embracing and believing in something that you've been told isn't real or isn't okay. So when we think about the wisdom that has been held by our indigenous ancestry, we all have it. Okay, we all came from those original people that walked this planet. So I like to think about what is the deeper essence of how those people expressed as humans. I can't go back to being a hunter-gatherer, but I can embrace that essence of how that is to be living in a human body with that level of conscious connection. So the Bushmen embodied a purer essence than I believe most of us do. They embodied it more consciously and openly in their lived expression and their lived time on the earth. So they were living in complete connection with earth as if their lives depended on it. Do ours? Yeah. But they knew that their lives depended on connection with earth because all they had to eat was what they could gather or kill and bring home. They didn't have grocery stores. So they would take care of the earth because they didn't want to over-harvest or kill too many of this animal because they knew it all had to be living in balance in order for the survival of all species. So they weren't growing gardens, they didn't have grocery stores, they couldn't buy food. There was no such thing as that. So the entire community held a deep reverence for all of Earth, and especially those spaces that they had named as sacred space. When you think about it, we don't have a lot of that in the world right now. So in the book, What David Knew, which is about this man that I believe connects with me, with this rock, Patricia Glenn wrote the story of the Bushmen and kind of like their Trail of Tears experience, where they were shoved from their beautiful lands that they tended and animals that they were caring for. They were shoved and shoved and shoved and shoved back into a little farm that was not very prolific and kind of a reservation. She says, "We were all Bushmen once upon a time, and their all-knowing oneness with the earth, its systems and its inhabitants, is what we lost when we left the bush. Our psychological separation from source manifests in dysfunctional, violent societies, wholehearted disregard for nature's bounty, and a terrifying assault of her creatures. We are all feeling this severance from nature, but for those Aboriginal peoples who have recently and are actively being brutally cut off, it's enormously tragic and painful." So you think about the indigenous groups that we're watching right now who are fighting for the rainforest. for example, fighting for their water source in the rivers against the pipelines. Think of how that feels for people who are living much more closely with Mother Earth and much more dependent on her for their food supply. Right now, 2022, this is still happening, you know? It's a lesson we're still learning. So what makes Bushmen appear to be like children is that they seem to experience life with an uncomplicated immediacy that we have abandoned. They are emotionally accessible where we are closed and defensive. They are impulsive where we are restrained and cerebral. They are unself-conscious and they laugh a lot, which is really true. You think of any indigenous group, you think of laughing, dancing, singing, drumming, shaking rattles, making sound. So we're desperately trying to relearn these qualities, especially when we're in cities and we need that deeper connection with the earth. So I've been thinking a lot in the last week or so about all the different ways that we receive information. And for some of us, that might be angels. Some of you probably really connect with archangels or some form of the angelic kingdom. And in the Christian and Jewish traditions, there are these amazing hierarchies of angels described, from seraphim, cherubim, thrones, dominions, virtues, powers, principalities, archangels, and angels. So in unity, angels are called the quickening thought of God, appearing in the form of light or divine intelligence, intuition, and understanding. And so we can access the wisdom of angels, just as people did all throughout the Bible stories. We can do that right now, right here and right now, through our intuition, through our meditation, just receiving, opening up to that being even a possibility. And then the devas are considered to be the angels for the plants. So then we flow into that whole kingdom of nature spirits. And every single plant has an angel, a spirit that works with it, guards, protects it, watches over it, teaches it. So it's starting to fill up, isn't it? Like, imagine this room filling up with angels and nature spirits. There's a lot of beings surrounding us. And then we have the star beings. How many of you relate to star beings? Yeah. Some of you may have even had experiences connecting with ETs. All of our origin stories from indigenous groups everywhere say that we came from the stars. So in the middle of writing this talk, my husband starts reading The Custodians by Dolores Cannon. And what Dolores did was do hypnotic sessions with people who've had experiences with UFOs and ETs. And in those sessions, the hypnotic sessions, the ETs started talking to Dolores. And she did this for about 12 years and wrote lots and lots and lots of books. So my husband's like over the moon. He's knocked out by all this information. He's so excited about it. So he's interjecting things to me all the time. Oh, and listen to this, and listen to this. So he says that there are over 10,000 species of extraterrestrial beings around us. That's a lot. Yeah. And that the whole earth is full of them. They live inside the earth, not just out there someplace on some other galaxy or star or planet. They're right here. They're right here with us. Also said, Dolores Cannon says, we are all star beings. So doesn't that bring it home a little bit? If we all originally came from the stars, all humanity, all beings on earth, so that takes it to a whole nother level of expanding our awareness, opening our minds. Woo! So one of the pieces that it really hit home to me was that the star beings said that this is the only place that has war. Think about that immensity of the galaxies upon galaxies. And this is the only place we're playing with war and learning through that vehicle. Yikes. We still have a lot of work to do with that one too, don't we? Yeah. So the star beings say that messages travel in every way. Messages can come through a rock. They can come through the wind. They can come from the stars. They can come from all forms of beings that are beyond what we can even see. Yeah. So it's exciting and it's interesting. And I just invite us to open our hearts and our minds to what might be out there that might be possible. So I spent most of my adult life studying and learning about energy and energy healing. And so for me, all of this comes down to energies, frequencies, vibrations. No matter what of these forms we're talking about, we all are vibrating at different frequencies. So the way I understand it is we have 7 dominant chakras, and many of you know about that, from the base of your spine to the top of your head. Those are just the dominant ones, though. I had a friend who would talk to me about, oh, now I'm working on number 58. You know, she was seeing and experiencing more and more and more realms. So there are 7 dominant chakras, there are 7 dominant colors in the rainbow, and there are 7 dominant notes in the scale. There's no mistake to that. They all vibrate at the same frequencies. So low C is your root chakra, which is the color red, and right on up. So the thing that's important for us to grasp is that each one of these chakras relates to a different dimension of who we are. But they're not like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, they're all interpenetrating. And so it's much more to wrap your head around than just a simple system of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Every dimension has unique characteristics to it, and many people can see beyond this 3D that all of us are seeing right now. And so expanding our thoughts to understand that we can bring this dimensionality together in us. We have this opportunity while we're on the earth to bring ourselves into a greater and greater sense of wholeness. And all of that is about oneness. It's all about stretching out beyond this body that I know and that I understand to embrace all of the rest of it, all of the many, many facets that we're experiencing. So in unity, we have some beautiful things in there when you start digging in. When I was studying, I read a book that left an impression on me called What Are You? By Imelda Shanklin. You are a soul that has forgotten its divine identity, a soul now struggling to remember in the mists of time and in the confusions of experiences that you are living. You are a living son, this is old language, son of the living God. Spiritually, you are an idea in the mind of God. God lives itself as you. It lives you. So spiritual consciousness is a group of thoughts that presents the spiritual nature of your life. And the super consciousness, you know, we talk about how we use 10% of our brain. We're actually using all of our brain. But the super consciousness is the mind of God, and we do have access to it. It's just a matter of opening to believe that, to receive that. So I'm going to close with a short story. There was a beautiful young woman called Sonia Cruz, who they called the Ubuntu girl. And she went out on foot and walked all of South Africa alone as a white, beautiful girl. And everyone said, you can't do that. That's not safe. You won't be safe here, and you won't be safe there, and you certainly won't be safe on the streets of Johannesburg. You know, and so she just didn't believe that. She wanted to demonstrate that we still live Ubuntu, which is community, which is oneness and a greater way of seeing. And so in one of the little towns that she went to visit, little village actually, there was a 4-year-old girl. And this 4-year-old girl was talking to her mommy, and she said, "So, Mommy, if I went back into your tummy, and then you go back into Grandma's tummy, and then Grandma goes back into her mommy's tummy, and all the mommies go back into all the tummies, all the way, we'll all be in one tummy, and that will be God." 4 years old, yeah? And so I leave you with that on this Mother's Day, to accept that divine connection to all that we are. And so it is.
Absolutely love that story. Deep peace of the running way to you. Deep peace of the flowing air to you. Deep peace of the quiet earth to you. Deep peace of the shining stars to you, and deep peace of the gentle night to you. Moon and stars pour their healing light on you. Deep peace to you. Deep peace of the running wave to you. Deep peace of the flowing air to you. Deep peace of the quiet earth to you. Deep peace of the and deep peace of the gentle night to you. Moon and stars pour their healing light on you. Deep peace to you. Deep peace of the running wave to you. Deep peace of the flowing air to you. Deep peace of the quiet earth to you. Deep peace of the shining stars to you. And deep peace of the gentle night to you. Moon and stars pour their healing light on you. Deep peace to you.
not enter the silence is already within us. We do not die to enter the kingdom of God. The kingdom is already within us. And so in deep peace, we're able to make connection beyond this 3D realm. On Mother's Day, I invite you to connect with your ones that you love who are on the other side, but right with you, learning with you, walking with you, teaching you. Your mommy and her mommy and her mommy and her mommy. We surround ourselves with the presence and the power of beings who are working with us, assisting us on this planet for our survival as a species, our survival as a planet. Welcome. And the angels who whisper in our ears, and nature spirits who enliven your garden and all these beautiful flowering trees around us today. The unseen world is more real than our minds can even embrace. It's more filled with assistance. So we invite it all in this peaceful moment of quiet. Feeling in to the vibration of pure being. Feeling the presence of pure spirit vibrating in you, in every cell. And the presence of pure spirit vibrates in every cell in your body and radiates forth into the world as you. and for our ever deepening understanding of this truth, we do give thanks. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And so it is.
I am wrapped in the arms of my mother. I am wrapped in the arms of my mother. I am wrapped in the arms of my mother. I am wrapped in the arms of my mother. I am safe in the arms of my mother. I am safe in the arms of my mother. I am safe in the arms of my mother. I am safe in the arms of my mother. And I am loved in the arms of my mother. I am loved in the arms of my mother. I am loved in the arms of my mother. I am loved in the arms of my mother. And I am free in the arms of my mother. I am free in the arms of my mother. I am free in the arms of my mother. I am free in the arms of my mother. And I can breathe in the arms of my mother. I can breathe in the arms of my mother. I can breathe in the arms of my mother. I can breathe in the arms of my mother. And I can sing in the arms of my mother. I can sing in the arms of my mother. I can sing in the arms of my mother. I can sing in the arms of my mother. I am grace in the arms of my mother. I am grace in the arms of my mother. I am grace in the arms of my mother. I am grace in the arms of my mother. And I am love in the arms of my mother. I am love in the arms of my mother. I am love in the arms of my mother. I am love in the arms of my mother. arms of my mother. I am wrapped in the arms of my mother. I am wrapped in the arms of my mother.
Star sisters and all sisters and brothers are we, and we are blessed. Thank you. Thank you for the message and the music that's so powerful, connecting us all. As our ushers are coming forward for our time of thanks, I invite you to join me as we hold our gifts to this community in our hands and love in our hearts. Let's affirm together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. And as our love offering is collected, let's join Holly in singing together, I am one with the heart of the mother. I am one with the heart of a mother. I am one with the heart of love. I am one with the heart of a father. I am one with God. Ave Maria. Let me remember, 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 I am one with God. I am one with the hearts of a mother. I am one with the hearts of love. I am one with the hearts of a father. I am one with God. And as our ushers come forward, here's our prayer of thanks to listen to. We are grateful and we bless the flow of good that supports our unity community. We bless the givers who give their time, talent, and treasure. We stand in the knowing that the flow of good goes forth only to return again and again. And so it is. Amen. Reminds me of a song I learned from Marty Stemmerman, that mother carries me down to the sea. And so we all are in a flow of this beautiful river together to the source of one. Well, a special welcome to our guests today. Thank you for joining us. If you'd like more information about the Unity Movement and Unity of Lawrence, pick up a welcome packet in our lobby. Ask any of us. We're happy to talk to you. The Lunch Bunch is meeting at Jason's Deli at 3140 Iowa Street. All are welcome. Want lunch? Go to Jason's Deli. Our weekly meditation group meets on Tuesdays at 6:30 in the sanctuary. Everyone is welcome. Phil's also offering an online meditation group on Tuesdays, and there is more information about that in the foyer. Come early and join us on Sunday mornings for a time of fellowship at 10:30 a.m. downstairs. Enjoy some fresh coffee and treats with your Unity community. The Network Men's Fellowship is meeting on Mondays at 7 in the sanctuary. Come by the office for more information about that. And there is a calendar correction. The fellowship potluck will be on the 5th Sunday this month of May, May 29th. The date's been corrected in the May bulletins and on our website. We are having a food drive, speaking of food, for the month of May. So you'll see a barrel right back there by our sound crew. And all the food donated to Just Food stays and supports families in Douglas County. The barrel's located at the back of the sanctuary, and a list that gives suggested items is in the lobby. Please join us next Sunday as Karen Drucker brings us special music and the Zoom message, I give myself permission to. Stay tuned. And now it's time to sing in our youth.
Let's stand together.
Good morning and happy Mother's Day to all those who claim the role. So today we talked about what it means to be nurturing. And so we watched a video of a little girl who was going to visit her mother who was in a chemotherapy center, and how the mother was able to teach her how to do her hair and help the dad do her hair by leaving a YouTube video behind. So the kids talked about all the things that people who have motherly love do for them. And so we talked about the equivalent of our first principle of God's love being all good, and how it flows through people and how it shows up in the spirit of being nurturing, which is what most people who have motherly roles in life tend to be, is a nurturing person. So what is our affirmation today? What do we learn about God's love?
Nurturing.
Yes, our affirmation was God's love is nurturing, which is where that flows from in mother-type figures.
So congregation, let's rub our hands together in nurturing energy as we say to our youth, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity in you. And now let's join together in singing our peace song. And as we lower our hands, our prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God washes over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.